Hey guys, HDvee here, and welcome back to a brand new video going over Pokemon Sword and Pokemon Shield. In today's video, we're going to be taking a look at every single reference to Diamond and Pearl remakes and any other Pokemon game as well in the Generation 8 games. There's quite a lot of references to go over though, so this will be split into two parts, because there's just so many references. So of course, if you're excited for today's video, please do drop a like down below, leave a comment with any other references that I have missed that I can include in the second part. I'd love to see anything else that you guys have found in these games, and of course subscribe as well if you're brand new. We do daily Pokemon content on this here channel. With all of that out of the way though, let's get into the video, and I really hope that you enjoy. So the first little reference that I want to go over, it's not a huge nod to Diamond and Pearl remakes, but it's just something I wanted to include because I feel like people would have mentioned it in the comments regardless, is at the very start of the game in your own house you actually have a Munchlax. Now of course Munchlax is a Generation 4 Pokemon. Again, it's not a huge thing, but I just wanted to include it just in case. I know a couple people will be putting it in that comment section down below. The second reference that we're going to go over in today's video is located in Motorstoke, and it is this woman here. She says, "How's it? I came all the way from Alola to watch the gym challenge in person." So of course just referencing the 7th generation games being Pokemon Sun and Pokemon Moon. Our next reference is also to Kanto, and it is also found in Motorstoke. So on the left hand side of this city, if you go down and talk to, there's a girl that pops up somewhere around here. She's disappeared. She was right below me. There she is. She's just completely teleported. She goes over here. She says, "I hear curry's really popular in places like Kanto." So that is the second reference. Our next reference is also in Winden. Now this is a bit of a strange one because it could be relating to any region or even Generation 9 to be fair. And it is this guy here that says, "The Galar region's growing on me." Now of course you're not going to say that if you were born in Galar because you don't know anywhere else. You're only going to say it's growing on me if you're from a different location. So this guy could be from anywhere. We don't know, but it is clearly a different place other to Galar. So whether they're referencing a new region or just an old region, who knows, but that is another reference in Sword and Shield. This next reference is again from another unknown region, and it is a woman sitting in the Winden kind of big hotel thing, and she says, "I came to Galar on my Braviary instead of my private jet, but I must admit it was a little tiring. Being Braviary is probably Generation 5, but again we don't know anything else about this potential other region." This next reference is again to the Kanto region, and it is this NPC in Winden straight outside of the gym, and he says, "Cantonians and Galarians both seem to like waiting in lines." Don't know what that means, but again it's another reference to Kanto. Now one of the biggest references in Pokemon Sword and Shield is actually one of everyone's favorite character, Ball Guy. Now he is a huge reference to Generation 2 because in every single gym he does give you a type of Pokeball. Now of course the Ball Guy gives the player one of each kind of Apricorn Pokeball over the course of the game, and then more can also be obtained from him by redefeating the Pokemon League. So all the different kind of balls that you get from him are just nods to the different Apricorn balls that you can get in Pokemon Gold and Silver, such as a Friend Ball, Lure Ball, Level Ball. All of these different ones are the ones that you can get in Pokemon Gold and Silver. So it's just a nice little reference to all of those Generation 2 Pokemon and those games. Now the next big reference to the other regions in Pokemon Sword and Pokemon Shield is actually the Battle Cafe. And this is because of all the different rewards you can get for defeating the Battle Cafe. Now of course you can do this once a day, and then if you do win you do get a type of reward. Now one of the rewards is the rare candy bar, which is obviously a reference to Generation 2 because that is one of the items you can get in the Generation 2 games. Another reward is the lava cookie, which is of course a reference to the Generation 3 games because that is an item you can get in those games. The old gateau, I don't even know, it's basically like cake, is a reference to the Generation 4 games. Of course another item you can win in the Battle Cafe. The Castelia Cone is a reference to Generation 5, again another item you can get in this Battle Cafe. Then you can also get the Lumiose Gallet and the Chaleur Sable, which are also possible rewards that you can win in the Battle Cafe, which are references to Generation 6. And then for Generation 7, you can get the Big Malasada, which is obviously a reference to Pokemon Sun and Moon. And then you can get the Pewter Crunchies, which is a reference to the Pokemon Let's Go games. Also rewards in the Battle Cafe for Pokemon Sword and Shield. So this place actually has a bunch of references to the older generation games. This next reference is taken from the Hulbury station, and it is this little dude over here. You go up to him and he says, "Being on a train can be boring. I wish I could battle on the train. I heard that you can battle on a subway train in the faraway Unova region." So again, this is a reference to the Generation 5 games being black and white. And he also says that Unova region is really far away, so obviously that girl from earlier saying that she travelled from her own region on the back of a Braviary is probably why she's tired, because it would have just took so long to get here from Unova. Now this next reference is quite a big one because it's split into two parts. It is taken from the Winden Pokemon Center, and it is, there's the guy over here on the left and there's a guy over here on the right. Now first of all, this guy here says, "I come all the way from Unova, so I might as well give everything a try, including a Pokemon job." So of course, another person from Unova, even though it's really far away, quite a few people from the Unova region have traveled to Galar. Now what is interesting about this guy on the left though, is that he says, "I'd like to invite some of the fine trainers flourishing in Galar back to my own regions." What's interesting about this is that some of the characters in this game say where they're exactly from, so whether they're from Kanto or Unova or Hoenn or anything like that, but some of the NPCs just say that it's like their own region or they're from somewhere else. So it's just kind of paving the way open for Generation 9 just simply because they're not referencing which region they're coming from. I don't know, but I feel like that's just a little bit interesting that he says that instead of the actual region where he's from. But again, that is just another reference to the other Pokemon games. The next reference that we're going to go over in today's video is again taken from Winden, right outside the Pokemon Center actually. You can see it over there on the top left. Now this is a really cool little reference, and it is back to the original Mr. Mime that you can trade for in Pokemon Red and Blue. So of course we have a Galarian Mr. Mime here, and if you talk to this little kid, he says this Mr. Mime's name is Marcel or Marcel. It's really amazing. Now this is a cool reference because the Marcel is the name given to the Mr. Mime that you do trade for in Pokemon Red and Blue. I'll throw it on the screen right now so you can see the reference, but it's just really cool that over all of these years that we do still have references to these old games, especially with the Mr. Mime as well, how that was just a normal Mr. Mime and then this one is a Galarian one, but they have the same name. I don't know, I just think it's a really cool little reference back to the Kanto games, but again, that is another reference in Pokemon Sword and Pokemon Shield. Now this next reference is something that I'm sure you are all aware about, and it is from the meetup spot. Now of course, if you talk to these two people over here, the first guy gives you a Eevee that can Gigantamax if you've played Let's Go Eevee, and then the girl on the left gives you a Gigantamax Pikachu if you've played through Let's Go Pikachu or have a saved data file of those games. Now of course, these are actual just references to Let's Go Pikachu and Let's Go Eevee. Of course, a lot of people would have talked to these just to simply get the free Gigantamax Eevee and Pikachu, but at the same time it is a reference to the Let's Go games, which is why they are included in today's video. This next reference that we're going to go over is taken from Stow on Side, and it's only available once you do become the champion. So if you go over here to the left and talk to this guy here, he says, "Oh, looks like you become the champion, huh kid? It's hardly worthy of such an achievement, but here, take this." And he gives you a Beast Ball, which is obviously a reference to the Generation 7 games, Pokemon Sun and Moon, where you get a Beast Ball to catch the Ultra Beast. What's interesting about this is that there's no beast, like Ultra Beasts in Pokemon Sword and Shield, so what is the point of this Beast Ball? Not only that though, you can also get more from the ball guy by redefeating the Pokemon League. So you can actually get quite a few Beast Balls in this game. But it just says a somewhat different Pokeball that has a low success rate for catching a Pokemon. So no reference to the Ultra Beasts or anything like that with this Pokeball. But yeah, that's something interesting. And something that I also want to quickly go over is this here. Now, if you go into the Pokedex and you go to Copper in Shield, it doesn't really have any information. But in Pokemon Sword, the Pokedex entry does state that Copper does come from a different region. I'll have it on the screen right now for you just so you can see the Pokedex entry. But yeah, this is definitely a reference to another region, whether it is Generation 9 region or whatever. But yeah, it is definitely clearly a reference to a different region. So yeah, that's just two more references that I do want to go over for today's video. The final reference that we're going to go over for today's video is taken from Sir Chester, actually where you get the Shiny Charm and the Catching Charm, and it is this woman here holding a phone. So she says, and go. "Oh, I missed again. It's harder than it looks to get a catch. You look like you know the proper way to throw a Pokemon." Now she is clearly referencing Pokemon Go. Obviously she's holding a phone like that. She's doing the kind of the kind of obviously how to catch a Pokemon in Pokemon Go, where you just flick your finger up the screen and stuff. And not only that, she also says and go. So that is clearly just a huge reference to Pokemon Go. And not only that, this is maybe a reference to Generation 2, this Carper here. It could be seen that these are unknown, and that again is just a reference to Generation 2. Of course, unknown is not in Pokemon Sword and Pokemon Shield, so it could be a little reference, who knows. But that is going to be finishing off today's video. Well, part 1 of this little two-parter. There are still a few more references I do want to go over, but of course, if you did enjoy today's video, please do consider hitting that like button down below. Of course, if you have any other references I didn't mention in today's video, like Kabu being from Hoenn, that will obviously be included in the next one. Let me know in the comment section down below where you found them. I'd love to include them in the next video. And subscribe if you're brand new. We do daily Pokemon content on this here channel. That's everything from me though. Thank you so much for watching. Have a fantastic rest of your day, and until next time, peace.